All right, Dan and I are figuring out how we're gonna put the table back on his Covel.
Yes, we are.
Let's take a look at that flaking there.
Yeah, it's worn a bit, but not terribly so. Some of you scraping nerds would want to refit this, but I'm not a scraper, at least not yet. So I'm going to put it on, and I'm going to use transmission fluid instead of Vector number 2 because it's a lot thinner. And I think when your scraping is worn off, you don't have the the oil retention capability on the surface, and it doesn't float like it should. And I've got a couple machines I've transitioned to using just red ATF, and the lower viscosity and all that, it just seems to crank the table easier. So maybe it's kind of a hokey way to go, but I found it works really well. And I mean, any oil is better than no oil. So that's what I'm going to do on this. And Noah's here. He's going to help me lift this on instead of rigging a hook on the ceiling. So grateful for that. I'm going to bolt the gear rack on, and I got to put a rubber curtain on here, but I think I could do that in context when it's on the machine, just reaching around. But yeah, we're going to try to do this, and we're going to put the oil. It's got roller oilers, and like a planer does, and we're going to fill it up with oil and reciprocate it, and maybe we'll have some progress at Doozer shop for once. So that's what we're going to do. I'm getting some dirt off of these. Maybe I should get some thinners. I tend to use lacquer thinner by the gallon because I'm not going to use carburetor spray because it's so darn expensive. Old paint it won't touch too bad, but new paint it will. So you got to be careful. And I had these covered, but they've been sitting for a while. I mean, I cleaned these 6 ways to Sunday before. And again, these are worn a bit, the flaking's, and there's their dirt, right? But I clean these at least, 5 or 6 times already. And see, that's not bad. I guess it's just down in the hole, in the trough. One little piece of galling there, but I stoned these too. And there's marks on them, but once you grind something, I bet you won't notice any, just tents, and you can adjust the tilt angle of the table to get a lot of that out. But we'll see how it grinds. If it grinds absolutely terrible and it needs to be scraped, then we'll figure something else out. But I want to see at least, I got this machine and it was filthy and it was just stored for years, and I don't know how it grinds, if it grinds straight or not, but I want to find out before I assess anything. Because you got to clean it and make sure the lubrication system works. If you watch my videos, you'll see I did a lubrication orifice in there was not drilled from the factory to be lined up from one plate to the other. It was just never ever received lubrication on the one side. So there's flat and there's V's. So there's the V rollers, and these are the taller posts. So it goes inside there, and then this, I think these are aluminum actually. There's a hole in down there. Actually, there's a hole in there, mostly clean. So that's it. That's how it runs. And the table should spin that. And there's a little hole in the corner that's fed with the Doozer restrictor metering device. And when you pump, get a shot of the actual Doozer thing, Noah. And that's the pump, and it's got distribution manifold and whatnot. I need 2 more. There's 1 extra. If there's flats on them, see, this is no good.
Focus on that. Yep, got it.
There's a flat on there, so that's no bueno. So the middle is where the plunger goes. That hole in the corner is where the oil comes in. There's a Doozer metering unit underneath the cabinet, inside underneath everything. And I replaced all those. I didn't even try to unclog them. I just bought brand new ones and put them in. So we're going to try to, this thing's heavily corroded. Heavily corroded, but we're going to try it. I don't think we care about that because it's going to function. It's just got to go up and down. And this is not the roller with the flat spots. Oops. Oh, that's how it was. That's why I have an extra roller. One was sitting in there at the factory. So that's why I have an extra roller to use to replace the flatted one, right? Isn't that crazy? Okay. So we got to flip this Pick it up.
Keep it in
yeah,
there.
Yeah, you got it. Yep, it's heavy. You okay?
I'm fine. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Slow. Did I get it in the V? I did.
That wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
Did it move?
Well, that feels a little weird.
Not sure if you should flip that rack.
If you go fast, but if you go slow, it doesn't feel terrible. I think it's just riding on a new part of the rack, because the pinion gear is a little worn, but that's going to be an advantage for not being try to bind. I think it's okay. Because like I say, these are new bushings in here, because this thing was slopping sideways like crazy.
All right, so Dan and I think we found the problem where this gear rack has been heavily worn. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a little bit of bump right there. If I run my finger across, it'll kind of cut me where the material's been mushroomed out on the top of the rack. So we're thinking that's hitting the root of the gear on the pinion.
They are right there, all the shiny crystals.